How do you know you're a winner in this whole health game? Well, you lived a normal, happy, healthy life, long. And so we're going to teach you how to win the game. It's kind of fun. This is the research that's out, what's working. This is what the rich people are doing, because a lot of rich people, after you have $1 billion, what do? You want to extend your life. And so a lot of very, very wealthy people are looking into the things we're going to teach you today on how to extend your life. So I'm Dr. Joe Esposito. We're going to talk about life extension today and all the tricks that are well-researched and the things that you can start doing right now to live a long, happy, healthy life. Not a long, sick life, a long, happy, healthy life. So we can start whenever you're ready, John. So, let me tell you what we're going to do. I'm going to talk for 24 minutes. Whatever platform you're on, you can ask questions. Type in your questions. John, my producer, will read me the questions. At the end of 24 minutes, I will answer your questions. Then I'm going to do another 24-minute segment, and I'll answer your questions again. So this is an amazing opportunity for you to get some health questions answered. So you ready, John? All right, here we go. Hey, folks, Dr. Joe Esposito here. All right. We're going to teach you how to win the game today. Game of life. Everybody wants to live a happy, well, most people want to live a long, happy, healthy life. That's what everybody wants. I want it. And so what I did is I compiled research, evidence-based research on things that you can do to extend your life, not only for length, not only quality, but quantity as well. Both. We're going to teach you how to do that. So this is a great show. It's going to be a lot of fun. If you have any questions, you can always send it through my website, drjoe.com. If you want a copy of today's show notes, just send me an email through the website, drjoe.com, and say show notes for life extension. I'll send you the notes absolutely free. It's my gift to you because I really want you guys to be healthy. I want to be your doctor. I want to prove to you that I know what I'm doing. So let's jump right in. We got a lot to cover. We may have to do 2 shows. I don't know if we have enough time to cover everything here. But anti-inflammatory nutrition reduces chronic disease. Now, if you've listened to my shows in the past, I've been lecturing now for about 45 years. I always talk about reduction of inflammation. How do we bring down the inflammation in the body so that the body can heal? Every disease known to man, high blood pressure, diabetes, obesity, smoking, addiction, traumatic brain injuries, autism, ADD, ADHD, whatever it is, Parkinson's, Alzheimer's, they all have an inflammatory component. So we got to bring down that inflammation. And when you say inflammation, what is that? Well, a lot of the inflammation comes from your gut. You're eating bad foods. There's an inflammatory reaction in the gut. That inflammation then becomes what we call systemic. It goes through the whole system. That's the word, systemic. So what's the best thing to do? What does the American Heart Association say about this? Whole food, plant-forward diets reduce systemic inflammation, the root driver of heart disease, diabetes, cancer, and neurodegeneration. Bam. Mic drop. I walk out. That's it. When I say plant-forward, plant-based was a word. Now plant-forward's another word. Mainly fruits and vegetables, nuts and seeds. I'll tell you a story. My cousin, who's been my cousin my whole life, is married to a man who's been married for, I don't know how many years they've been together now, 40 years maybe. And he had heart surgery not long ago. And I get a message from my cousin, and she says, my husband just had heart surgery. I won't use his name. And his stomach is totally bloated, sticking out like he's pregnant. Now, this guy works out hardcore every day. He's in great shape. And they send all these different doctors, gastroenterologists, and finally one of the doctors said, well, when they did the heart surgery, they probably damaged the vagus nerve. If you know me, you know it's my favorite nerve. And the vagus nerve controls his digestive system, which means the brain isn't capable of telling him how to digest his food properly. And the result was nothing we can do about it. Tough luck. So sad, too bad. See you, bye. So he calls me up, and we're chatting. And I said, okay, maybe they damaged the vagus nerve. Maybe they didn't. I don't know how to test that. But there are tests you can do. But let's get your body as healthy as we can. Because if it isn't a vagus nerve damage and we get you healthy, it should solve the problem. If it is a vagus nerve damage and we get you healthy, it's going to be the best we can do. So he sends me his diet, and he's eating a very low hypoallergenic diet, chicken, eggs, fish, steak. Nowhere in the diet did I see anything that mentioned fiber, plants, fruits, vegetables, nothing. Now, you need fruits and vegetables because fiber feeds the good bacteria in your colon. And the good bacteria in your colon produce chemicals that make your brain work better, that bring down inflammation, that help control your urges. I mean, that's where so many neurotransmitters, the chemicals are made or started in the gut. So you got to fix the gut in order to bring down the total body inflammation. So in order to live a long life, we have to do that. Best diet for it, American Heart Association supports dietary patterns rich in fruits, vegetables, legumes, nuts, whole grains for cardiovascular longevity. It's everything I've been teaching you for the past 45 years. Mediterranean diet studies show reduced mortality in cardiovascular events. And this is a study out of New England Journal of Medicine. So over and over again, I'm telling you the same thing. The best foods we can eat, fruits, vegetables, nuts, and seeds, help with longevity by reducing inflammation and reducing the risk of chronic disease, backed by the New England Journal of Medicine. So it's not just me rambling on and on about eating more salads. This is what the double-blind research study is showing. So we're talking today, if you're just tuning in, evidence-based reasons why holistic healthcare can extend the quality and the quantity of your life. And I'm going to tell you a story. The reason I do all this, somebody asked me this the other day. They said, Dr. Joe, you've been doing this 41 years, 45 years, counting my school. You're so excited and so passionate about this. You keep opening up these new projects. How do you do it at your age? Most people your age are retired, and you're building new projects and opening up, new programs. And I said, I'm doing this, and finally I admitted, I guess out loud, I'm doing it for me. I want to know how to live a long, happy, healthy life. I want to know what supplements I should take. I want to know what kind of chiropractic care can help my spine. I want to know how to fix my gut. So I'm doing this selfishly, and now I'm happy to share it with you. And so far, it's working really good. Really well, I should say. It's working really well. Every time I have tests done, my brain is half my age. You know, when we test the brain, my blood looks like somebody who's 30 years younger than me. So it's working. And I'm not spending $2 million a year. We did a show a while ago on Brian Johnson, who spends $2 million a year on trying to stay young. I'm doing it to you for free. So Mediterranean diet, keeps going back to it, mostly fruits, vegetables, nuts, and seeds. Plant-forward, Mediterranean, plant-based, I don't care what words you want to use. Most of your diet, 80, 90% of your diet, is going to be plant-based. If you want to throw a little meat in there, I don't, but if you want to, please make sure it's organic meat. And the reason is, when you and I were kids, we didn't have to worry about steroids, chemicals, hormones, antibiotics, genetically modified food, glyphosate, all the chemicals and pesticides and preservatives that are being put in our food today is shortening our lives for multiple reasons. I won't go into that whole thing today. So my rule is this. If grandma would recognize it as food, you can eat it. So that the closest thing we have to animal products that grandma would recognize is going to be organic. Now, grandma drank unpasteurized milk, too. Why? Because the cows were clean. They made sure the udders were clean. I remember being in Germany with my relatives when I was 10 years old, and they scrubbed down the udders, and it was sterile, basically. Then they milked the cow. So we reduced the risk of infection dramatically, or spreading disease dramatically, by making sure the cows were clean. And the stalls were extremely clean. And that's not quite the way it is today anymore, in most cases. So lifestyle medicine reverses heart disease. So intensive lifestyle changes, including, here we go again, plant-based nutrition, stress management, exercise, and social support have demonstrated a reversal of coronary artery disease. Key word there is reversal. When I went to school, I was taught coronary artery disease is there forever, you're done. I was also taught that traumatic brain injuries, once the brain was injured, there's nothing that can be done for it. I was taught both those things. Well, turns out I was taught wrong. And that's okay. Science changes. I wasn't taught wrong. I was taught what was known at the time. So, Journal of American Medical Association, research by Dr. Dean Ornish, showed regression of arteriosclerosis. Now, Dean Ornish is a medical doctor, and he wanted to find out if he could reverse coronary heart disease, clogged arteries. And so he did extensive research, double-blind studies, and it turns out that Dean was right. You can reverse it in many cases. Not all, but many. And we do that by cleaning out the arteries, because you have to have good blood circulation. Now, if you have clogged arteries, it can affect the brain, it can affect the heart, it can affect the sex organs, it can affect the muscles, everything, the liver. So one of the things we want to do is make sure our arteries are just squeaky clean. And they get clogged due to diet, and they can usually be reversed due to diet. Now, there are certain supplements that work really well to clean up that calcium in the arteries. One of them is vitamin K2. So you usually see K2 with vitamin D3. In a good quality product, you're going to see D3 with K2. One of the many things vitamin D3 does, it takes calcium from your food and brings it into your blood, vitamin D. Vitamin K2 takes it from the blood and brings it into the bones. So you should be taking vitamin K2 every day. I do. You should too. Now, I take it in a combination with vitamin D3, D3 with K2. I take 10 drops. It's Dr. Joe's vitamin D3. It's on the website, drjoe.com, in the store section. And I take 10 drops every day. 10 drops. We're talking pennies a day. And it helps the D3, which helps the brain and immunity and bring down inflammation, but it also helps clean up the calcium in the blood. So if we can get the calcium out of the blood and get the circulation going into the body, we see some amazing things happen. Now, if you're eating a high plant-based diet, you're getting a lot of vitamin K1, I'm sorry. K1 can convert into K2. So you get a double whammy. Eating a plant-forward diet, mostly fruits and vegetables, nuts and seeds, mostly plants, and then you add the K2, you doubly increase the K2 levels to clean out those arteries. How cool is that? Now, if you have a clot, you can take something like nattokinase. Nattokinase is a supplement that actually goes in there and breaks up clots. But that's pretty cool, too. Now, there are drugs that can do similar things, but they're more expensive and usually have side effects. I always say, what's the most effective, least expensive treatment for this condition? Whatever it is. Most effective, least expensive treatment for blank. And that's what I want to do. I do it for myself. Because I don't want to spend a whole lot of money on healthcare. It's ridiculous what healthcare costs are these days. And in most cases, we don't get the best results. We in the United States spend more money per capita than anybody in the world on healthcare. And we are ranked among the lowest, among the sickest industrialized nations in the world. So we're spending more money and getting worse results. What if we did what the other countries are doing, spending less money and getting better results? There's a novel idea. Well, it's a business. I get it. It's a business. Everybody's trying to make a buck. But I'm a patient, and I want to know what's going to be best for me. And that's what I want to share with you. So Dean Ornish proved it time and time again, and it's been backed up by Esselstyn and other researchers. Can't think of his name now. But a lot of other doctors have done the research or read the research and came out with it and said, yeah, okay, you're right. It's correct. So if we have the answer, this is where I get a little crazy. We have the answer. We know it works. It's more effective and less expensive in most cases, not every case, most cases than anything we're doing right now. And we extend life. Why are we not doing this? It's so clear to me. There's no question in my mind that I do it. I see my patients do it. They get results. Dean Ornish has done the research. Journal of Medical Association, New England Journal of Medicine. They're all show. Yes, here's the answers. And yet you go to a hospital, and what do they feed you? Meat, white bread, diet sodas, or diet sweeteners, coffee. They're feeding you some of the worst things you can possibly eat. And you're a place where you're the sickest you've ever been. Years ago, as a gal I was dating, and she went to the hospital. She got, I think she got a food poisoning. I can't remember. It was, gosh, long, 25 years ago maybe. And I remember smuggling food into her because I wanted to get well. And I'd go in there and I'd look at what they had on the menu. There was nothing. You couldn't even make a decent meal out of what they had there. And I just smuggled food into her. And about 3 or 4 days, she was dismissed. She was fine. Had she eaten the hospital food, God knows what would have happened. So I'm not happy with the way healthcare is, and I want to change it. And that's kind of my mission at this point in my life now, too. So if you're just tuning in, I'm Dr. Joe Esposito. We're talking about evidence-based holistic care that can extend the quality of life. I want you to live as long as you can, the best you can. So if you have any questions, by the way, send them to me through my website, drjoe.com. It doesn't have to be about life extension, about anything. And I'm happy to answer your questions for you. It's my gift to you. I answer the questions personally. I want you to follow me on social media. We post 2 health tips a day, absolutely free. We even do it in Spanish. Dr. Joe Esposito, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, LinkedIn. Facebook is the Dr. Joe Esposito. But follow me, whatever platform you're on. I'll give you 2 health tips a day. And if you like podcasts, the podcast is Dr. Joe for the Health of It. Dr. Joe for the Health of It. I want you to subscribe to that as well. Good plan? I think so. All that's free, by the way. I have doctors come to me all the time and say, Joe, Even Dr. Oz said, he says, I don't use Google anymore. I just ask Joe questions. But doctors come to me and say, you have this incredible encyclopedia knowledge spitting things out when it comes to healthcare. Why are you not charging for it? Well, I want to get this out to everybody. That's why we do it. Now, if you could become a patient, if you buy supplements, yeah, we charge you for that. But I want to get you the information the best we can. So if you do what, by the way, if you want to make an appointment to come see us, if you have neck pain, back pain, shoulder pain, digestive issues, nutritional concerns, whatever the health problem is, drjoe.com, drjoe.com. Book an appointment right online. Normally, the first visit is $940. I've reduced that for you, my listeners, to $299. We can do virtual or in person. Virtual is a little cheaper, but you don't get the services either. So it's drjoe.com, $299, exam, x-rays, consultation, first treatment, going over the x-rays, and a complete nutrition evaluation. If you want to continue care after that, we tell you what I think is going to be the best thing. Maybe it's chiropractic. Maybe it's nutrition. Maybe it's orthopedist, neurologist, neurosurgeon, naturopath. I don't know what's best until I meet you. I can give you general information. But the best thing you can do is let us do an evaluation to determine what's going to be the best course of treatment for you. So drjoe.com, love to be your doctor. I want to be your doctor. I really do. It's a lot of fun. And most patients are very happy when they make that decision. So let's keep moving on. I got a lot to cover. So we're talking about evidence-based holistic health care that can extend the quality and the quantity of your life. So stress reduction improves immune and longevity markers. All of us have stress. Maybe it's financial stress. Maybe it's emotional stress. Maybe you had a bad breakup. The person who you swore you're going to spend the rest of your life with because that's what they said they wanted suddenly changed their mind. Maybe your parents passed away. Maybe your partner passed away. Maybe your kids are causing trouble. Maybe you have neck pain, back pain, shoulder pain, digestive issues. That's the easy stuff to fix. If we have stress, it's going to raise our cortisol level. Cortisol is a hormone. It's produced by our adrenal glands. And the cortisol is a good marker, one of the markers we can do, real simple, inexpensive marker to determine your stress level. So if you have high cortisol, we say, okay, something's wrong. We can do something called C-reactive protein. C-reactive protein tells us how much inflammation there is in the body. If there's a lot of inflammation, we say, I don't know where the inflammation is, but we know the body's inflamed. We can test your blood sugar levels, see if you have insulin issues, insulin sensitivity. But the cool part about all this, we can do all this tests. We can do MRIs, CAT scans. There's a company called Prenuvo that does a full body scan that I like. There's other companies that do full body scans. I think they're great. That's phenomenal stuff. But what do you do with the information? I've gone to some of these big companies and I said, listen, you guys do these amazing body scans, this incredible workup and blood work. What do you do when somebody has something positive? Crickets. Every time, crickets. I say, okay, so do you refer them out? Well, we monitor. Okay, so somebody's got hardening of the arteries. Somebody's got an inflamed liver. Somebody's got, I don't know, irritable bowel syndrome. You just monitor them. Do you tell them what to do? Oh, we give them some ideas. No, let's put them on a protocol. Let's do the protocol. Let's retest. It's an absolute no-brainer to me. I can't understand why anyone would go any other direction than that direction. And yet, for some reason, some people say, we just do testing. All right, well, let's take it to the next level. It's great you found out somebody has hardening of the arteries, but what are you going to do about it? When that piece of plaque breaks off, goes to their brain, they have a stroke and they die, or they're paralyzed. Now what do? You just lost a customer, too. So it drives me nuts because there's ways to deal with this stuff. So chronic stress raises your cortisol levels and shortens something called the telomeres. Now, what's a telomere? You have genetics, genes in your body, not blue genes, but genes in your body. And on the end of the gene is a little tail. It's called a telomere. And if it's long and happy and active, that means you're very young, biologically young and active and healthy. And as the telomere shrinks, it's a marker to determine that you're getting sicker and sicker and aging out. So there are things we can do to actually keep those telomeres and actually sometimes reverse them and make them longer and happier. And also, if you have stress, it reduces the immune system. So we got to look at the stress. What are the three main stresses? Physical, chemical, and emotional. Physical stress, back pain, neck pain, shoulder pain, sciatica. How many people have that? Raise your hands. A lot of you do. Come see us. My team of doctors and I are really, really, really good at getting to the cause of your pain in most cases. I can't guarantee everything. But in most cases, maybe it's a pinched nerve, it's a disc, it's a muscle spasm, it's a nutritional issues, it's a nitric oxide issue, not good circulation. Let's fix all of that, and let's get the body working again. I like that idea. Chemical stress. Let's do a nutrition workup on you. Let's find out what you're eating. What could you avoid? What could you add to your diet? Is it your environment? Perfumes, hairsprays, colognes, new car smell, new paint. All these things. Mold. Oh my gosh, mold. Mold. All these things can just be eating away at your immune system. I know a gal, and she was married, had 2 kids, and everything was fine, and they moved into a house that had mold in it, and they didn't know it. And she got so sick she almost died. And the husband kept saying, oh, come on, it can't be that bad, because they couldn't find anything. They did all this testing on it, couldn't find anything. Finally, she did a mold test, and the house was loaded with mold. Her son, at the age, I guess he was maybe 5 years old at the time, rushed to the emergency room in the hospital for 5 days, almost died from mold. They couldn't smell it. They had the house tested, and they tore up a wall, and the whole wall was black mold inside. Kid almost died. She almost died. And so that's why we have to start thinking outside the box. Does your house smell musty? You have mold. If it doesn't smell musty, I don't do testing. I can refer you to somebody to do mold testing. They can do the mold testing and see if there's mold in the house. I had a doctor working in my office one time, and she was hell-bent on the fact the office was covered in mold. And she was sick all the time, and it was due to the mold. So I had 2 different companies come in. They did tests. They said, you have 0 mold in here. So she was a little paranoid on it. But I'm glad I tested, because if it was mold, I didn't want to be around it either. So we have to look at the environment to see what's going on and how is that affecting your health. How many people ever thought their house might be making them sick? How many people had tested a house for radon? Radon comes off of basically stone and rock, and it releases into the house. So depending what your house is built on, may depend you have to put down a radon shield. Basically, it's like a plastic type shield. But these are all important things. Vital. I love estate sales. I don't know if I ever told you guys this. I love estate sales. I love going to estate sales. And one of the reasons is I like walking back in time. I like saying, oh, my mother had that. I had that toy. My father used to have that shirt. And it just brings me back to being young again. And I really enjoy that. And I get good deals sometimes too. But I really enjoy the moment of just going back in time that doesn't exist in my world anymore. But it does exist in somebody else's house. And many times I'll walk into some older houses and you smell the mold. And I thought, wow, this definitely contributed to the health of this person and maybe killed them. So we got to look at the chemical stresses that you're exposed to. Diet is easy. I can say eat this, don't eat this, take these supplements. Real simple. But the environment we have to do a little bit dig deeper on. So there's and then there's emotional stress. Now, that's the one that's tough. I can't fix the fact that maybe your loved one passed away. I can't fix the fact you lost your job. I can't fix the fact that your significant other left you. But I can fix many cases, the physical and the chemical, so that the emotional is easier to deal with. And when we can reduce stress, and you can do meditation, you can do mindfulness, you can do cellular work, and that'll reduce your inflammatory markers like C-reactive protein. But we have to get to the cause of the problem. I have many people that do yoga. I have many people that meditate. I have many people that are extremely religious and pray. But there's a physical issue that those things aren't going to fix. If you have a bone out of place, we can meditate till the cows come home, and I think you should, by the way, but you got to put that bone back in place. And that's where chiropractic comes in as the most effective, least expensive treatment for pain, back pain specifically. And then we add the nutritional component. I just met with somebody a couple of days ago. She works for a workers' comp company, and she wanted me to refer patients that we see for workers' compensation to her for like home care. So I told her what we do, like 5 minutes, and she couldn't speak. She said, I've never heard any of this before. So you're saying you can reduce workers' comp costs by minimum of 30%? Yes. And if it's just spinal injury, 70%. And I have all the double-blind research to show it. She said, oh my God, I've never heard this before. I've been in workers' comp now 35 years, and no one has ever said this to me before. I said, let's get together. Let's see if we can do something. Because imagine if we saved a big company, Delta, Home Depot, Federal Express, if we saved them 30% on their workers' comp injuries across the board, 70% on just spinal ones alone. That'd be a coup. That'd be a lot of money. Money I can't even calculate. Anyway, I got to go to break. If you have any health questions, send it to me through the website, drjoe.com, drjoe.com. Happy to answer your questions. Please subscribe to my podcast, Dr. Joe for the Health of It, and follow me on social media, Dr. Joe Esposito. Folks, I'm Dr. Joe Esposito. I want to give you all the information I can to get you well and keep you well. But you can buy supplements, book an appointment, send me questions, drjoe.com. We'll be right back. Had a cough for about 10 minutes there. All right, John, you have information you'd like to share with me?
I'm close to my ideal body weight and I've done some shorter fasts. What's the longest fast that you would recommend?
It depends on who you are and what you're doing. You can do a 30-day fast if you wanted to, but you have to be in a total state of relaxation, maybe on a retreat somewhere. I don't want you stressing. I don't want you playing sports. I don't want you dealing with everyday, workaday problems. So in a general world, in a real life world, probably 7 days would be good. Now, I recommend taking all your supplements while you're fasting. Super Green Essential Source, B Complex, vitamin D, and depends what else I put you on, men's hormone support, things like that. Let's get you healthy with the supplements, and then you can fast as well. Those supplements are not going to break your fast. So I would probably say 7 days max with the supplements, unless you're in a certain condition. So, what else?
Are farm-raised eggs the best?
They have to be organic, not farm-raised. All chickens come on farms, depends what you want to call a farm. So organic eggs are the only ones that I would recommend. Those are the best. So, what else?
Are beans or nuts a better source of protein?
Both. They're both good for different reasons. Beans are great. Now, if you get a lot of gas, which most people do, I want you to take Dr. Joe's digestive enzymes with it. I take 2 digestive enzymes when I eat a really heavy meal, like beans and rice or something like that. If I eat just a cooked meal, I'll just take 1 enzyme. If I eat a raw meal, like just a salad, I take no enzymes. But, for example, today for lunch, I had stir-fried vegetables in an organic coconut cream with curry sauce and some organic rice that I cooked, cooled, and ate the next day. You'll know why if you listen to my shows. And so I took 1 enzyme with that because not a lot of heavy proteins with that. It's mostly plants. So, but make sure you take those enzymes, folks. If you're over 30 years old, you should be taking enzymes and do it for the rest of your life. Real big on life extension. I am going to make a note of that I'm going to talk about it in part 2. Okay, what else?
Is it true that carrots are good for your eyes?
Yes.
If so, should I do raw or cooked?
Beta-carotene is the component in carrots that helps convert into vitamin A, and vitamin A can help with vision. And, you'll joke, right? You never saw a bunny rabbit wear glasses, right? So, of course, it's good for your eyes. But, yes, they're good for you. Raw is better than cooked. Cooked is still good. I don't recommend taking vitamin A directly because vitamin A can become toxic. If you're doing beta-carotene, it converts into vitamin A. It's not toxic, in large quantities, I should say. So, yeah, raw is best. Cooked is next best. They're both good, though. What else?
Is Dr. Joe's protocol for candida the same for toenail fungus? I heard that fungus have biofilm that is hard to get rid of. What supplements will help me with this condition that has been around for years?
Send me an email. I'll send you the protocol for the yeast because it's several different things, and you have to how to take it and everything like that. But you also have to change your diet. Yes, the yeast does have biofilm. Biofilm, if you don't know what that is, it's a coating, so your immune system doesn't recognize it. So certain viruses, certain germs, certain yeast will have this biofilm, and the immune system comes floating by and goes, I don't recognize that. I'll go past it. Doesn't know what it doesn't know it's a toxin. So, if you send me an email through drjoe.com, I'll send you the whole supplement protocol and then the dietary protocols as well. But that's probably 20-minute conversation. So, what else? That's it. Beautiful. Ready for part 2? All right, where was I? There. Okay. Ready? Hey, folks, Dr. Joe Esposito. If you just joined me, welcome. If you stayed with me, thank you. I appreciate that. We're talking today about life extension, what really works. Evidence-based holistic health care that can extend the quality and the quantity of your life. Things that research is showing that it works. And right before the break, we were talking about stress reduction, and we talked about reducing chemical, physical, and emotional stress. Studies from Harvard Medical School demonstrated meditation affects gene expression related to stress and inflammation, and that was published in 2016 by Black and Slavic. So I'm giving you, I usually don't give you the research behind it because most people don't really care, but I'm giving you the research today. This is what the research is showing. Double-blind published studies showing that what I'm saying, what I've always been saying is true. So let's move on about other things we can do to extend our lives. Gut health influences brain and immune system. I don't think I've ever done a lecture ever anywhere in the past 45 years where I didn't talk about gut health. Because the gut is so vital to everything. So the gut microbiome, these are the bacteria that live in your colon, regulate immunity, metabolism, and mental health. Most of the time when you go to the bathroom, most of what passes out is dead bacteria. There's so many bacteria in your body, thousands and probably millions, billions probably. But there's well over 100 different types of bacteria that we know of in the gut. When the gut bacteria becomes irregular or abnormal, it's called dysbiosis. Biosis, bio is life, right? Biology, the study of life. Dys meaning not. So it's not good for life. So dysbiosis is linked to obesity, immune disease, and depression. Years ago, I was doing a show, and I talked about something called fecal transplants. And the research had just come out on it. And what they were doing is they were taking fecal matter from skinny people and implanting it into fat people, because the bacteria in a skinny person's colon is different than a fat person. And they found that when they nurtured those bacteria and they started growing, the person lost weight. So now we're doing it for everything, for immunity, for diseases. Athletes, you're taking athletic microbiome and putting it into non-athletic people and seeing the people become more athletic. It's crazy. Now, I'm not sure I want to be eating the product. They usually put it in a capsule form. But it works. So healthy people have different bacteria in their colon than sick people. So A, we can do a fecal transplant, or B, I like this one better, let's just do the things that the healthy person is doing so you start growing those healthy bacteria. Makes a lot more sense to me. A little less on the gross factor, too. So research from National Institutes of Health, Human Microbiome Project, shows that microbiome diversity correlates with better health outcomes. Bam. Every one of these is like a mic drop. I'm like, okay, I'm done. I could stop right here, and I've gotten my point across. But there's so much. I probably got 20 more I got to talk about. Now, people ask me all the time about digestion. Number one reason I see patients is pain. The number two reason we see patients is digestion. So we have digestive issues, gas, bloating, diarrhea, constipation, acid reflux, heartburn, and you think, well, it's bad gas, or I'm bloated all the time, or I'm just fat, or I got bad breath, and it's just me. No, those are warning signs. Right now, I'm in my studio. The fire alarm goes off. What do? I run out of the building. I don't care what I'm doing. I run out of the building because the fire alarm is telling me your life is in danger. It's a warning sign. What happens when you have heartburn, acid reflux, burping, gas, bloating, diarrhea, constipating, neck pain, back pain, shoulder pain, sciatica, brain fog, headaches? Those are all different fire alarms going off, telling you something's wrong. If you ignore it, which is an option, the chances are there's going to be some adverse side effects. And that's how we look at healthcare. I have patients come to me all the time, and I call them the taint nothing patients. And I remember hearing this from a doctor probably 40 years ago when I first started my practice. He says, watch out for the taint nothing patients. And I said, I understand. What's a taint nothing patient? And they said, well, doc, I've had this headache for 20 years. That taint nothing. Don't worry about it. Ain't nothing, taint nothing. It taint nothing. Don't worry about it. Now, if you have a headache, something's wrong. It's a warning sign. Now, sometimes we're all going to have certain issues. If I said to you right now, think about, do you have any pain? You're probably going to say, yeah, my shoulder hurts a little bit, or my foot hurts, and I got this itch. And we all have something going on at all times. Those are warning signs. But when they're there for a long time, when they're debilitating, when they adversely affect your life, now they're screaming out. That fire alarm is going off. Something's wrong. Fix me. The problem is most people don't know what to do to get it fixed. I've spent well over 45 years now researching what to do for X condition. And I still come up with new things. Now with the internet, we can research things easier. Back in the old days, I had to look through books. But how do I get to the cause of the problem and not just treat the symptom? So that's why I always said I'd love to be your doctor. If you have a health issue and you have health concerns, make an appointment to come see us and let's do a workup. Let's check your nervous system. Let's check your digestive system. Let's check your diet. And let's see where the problems are and what to fix. And normally the first visit is $940. I've reduced that to $299 for you, my listeners. Exam, x-rays, consultation, first treatment, going over the x-rays, and a complete nutrition evaluation. And I do this because I want to help you get well and stay well. Doctor said, well, you're losing money on that. Yeah, it's a lost leader. I'm not going to lie to you. But it helps me get to the cause of your problem and determine, are you a chiropractic case? You're an orthopedist, neurologist, neurosurgeon, dietitian. I don't know. Dietitian. I was a dietitian at one point. I have to tell you a story about that, why I'm not. I quit. I just quit being a dietitian. It was ridiculous. So let's find out what the best course of treatment is going to be for you. I want to be the captain of your healthcare ship. I want to guide you to where you need to be. So you can book an appointment, drjoe.com. We accept almost all insurances, car accidents, sports injuries, Medicare, workers' comp, VA referral lists. We're everywhere. So I want to do everything we can to get to the cause of your problem. drjoe.com. Stop suffering. So many people are suffering and they don't need to. So anyway, back to digestion. I went off on a tangent there. So when it comes to digestion, when you're young, you produce a lot of enzymes. There's a bunch of different enzymes in your body. The three main ones are protease, amylase, and lipase, which break down fat, carbohydrates, and proteins. And you produce a lot of these. And you can eat a pizza, and you could eat candy, and you could drink soda, and you can still grow, and you can still thrive. Well, as you get older, your enzyme levels start to drop. It's part of the aging process. So what if we can keep the enzyme levels high like we were when we were young and absorb our nutrients, pass out our waste products, utilize protein and food much more efficiently? I do that by taking a digestive enzyme every day, and you probably should too. So I take, if I have a very heavy meal, like a lot of beans, and again, I don't eat meat. So a lot of cooked foods, I'll take 2 enzymes, Dr. Joe's digestive enzymes. They're on the website, drjoe.com. Buy them, carry them with you, take them. Here's my challenge. Buy a bottle, take it until the bottle's gone. See how you feel. If I'm wrong, I lied to you. I'm not lying to you. So if I have a light meal, I may have 1 enzyme. And if I have a raw meal, like a big salad or something like that, I don't take any enzymes. But if you're not taking enzymes, you're really cheating yourself. And it's pennies per capsule. It's so inexpensive. And you're able to break down your food. So somebody asked me the other day, I was out at a party and there was a nurse there. And she said something about, I eat really well. I listen to your show. Gosh, you're brilliant. And everything's great. But I have to eat my dairy products. I have to eat my cheese and I have to eat my milk to get my calcium and my protein. Because now that I'm 50, I need more protein. So I asked her a question. I said, when you're young, growing like crazy and working out and you're an athlete, you got all these muscles, you need less protein then than you do now? So I never thought of it like that before. I said, you're not working out like you used to. You're not playing sports every day or twice a day like I did in high school. No. Why do you need more protein now? You're not growing anymore. I never thought about it. Well, I told her why. I played devil's advocate. I said, because you're not absorbing it like you used to. She said, oh, that makes sense. So you're throwing more fuel onto this fire. What if we started absorbing it like we did when we were a kid? Or tried to go that way anyway. She goes, Doc, I've never thought of it like that before. You don't need more protein. You need to digest the protein that you have. Because if a kid can grow and play sports on pizza and candy and soda, and you're like measuring, 0.8 kilograms per kilogram of weight, and it doesn't make sense. What does make sense is improve your digestive system. So we can take digestive enzymes. If your stomach is pushed up against your diaphragm, you might have heartburn or acid reflux, pain right under your left breast area. That's usually a sign. No, it could be other things too, but it's usually a sign of the stomach physically pushed up into the diaphragm. So if the stomach is up into the diaphragm, what makes sense? Pull it back down. If we could pull the stomach back down away from the diaphragm, now we physically fix the problem. So many times when it comes to anti-aging, when it comes to pain, when it comes to any, there's a physical problem, and we try to address it chemically. Doesn't make sense to me. If I have a headache, I'll take some aspirin. My headache will go away. I take acetaminophen, actually, and my headache goes away. So was I low in acetaminophen? Was I deficient in acetaminophen? Is that why I needed the acetaminophen to get rid of my headache? No, it blocked the pain. Didn't fix it, blocked the pain. So my analytical brain says, okay, I just blocked the pain. Why did I have pain to begin with? I go see my chiropractor. They check me out. Sure enough, Joe, your atlas is out of place. Your 7 cervical is out of place. Your scalene muscles are spasmed. Let's reduce them. Let's do some acoustic wave therapy on your shoulder to recruit stem cells, break up scar tissue. So now I'm okay taking the acetaminophen, but I want to find out why I had the pain to begin with. And that's how I want you to think about your health, because that's going to be the key to extending your life. So many people come to me toward the end of life. Dr. Joe, I've heard you speak 40 years ago. I wish I'd listened to you sooner. I've cried in a room with my patients already. I've been meaning to come see you, but. Tell me about your but. But I had kids. I was busy. I had a job. I had a wife. Okay, so a visit in my office, once you're established, is about 15 minutes. Couldn't give me 15 minutes once a week, twice a week, whatever it would have taken. Once a month, once you're stabilized. Doc, I regret it, man. What do I got to do now? And usually we can do something, but the longer something is there, the harder it is to fix. So don't waste time. Start making these positive steps for your health. Start eating like we talked about, the plant-based diet. If you don't know what to eat, send me an email, drjoe.com. I will send you a lecture that I did called So What Can I Eat? And I'm going to do another version of it real soon as a podcast. So I'll send you the new one too, but it's going to be the same information. What do I eat? I'll send it to you. Hey, Dr. Joe, I have neck pain, back pain. Send me your questions, drjoe.com. I'll answer them with the best protocol I can. Now, every one of them has a disclaimer on it. It says, this is based on what you've told me. This is not a substitute for your other doctors. This is not a substitute for going to see Dr. Joe and his team. This is just basically answering your question. But let's get to the cause of your problem. drjoe.com. Love to see you. So we talked about National Institute of Health. Okay, so we're talking today about things you can do to extend your life. Physical activity extends life. Holistic care prioritizes movement. Moderate exercise lowers all-cause mortality by about 35%. Moderate exercise. I used to play football. I used to play hockey. I used to play basketball. I was on a swim team. I worked out, not knowing I was working out, at least twice a day, sometimes more. Gym class, football. After football, go home, take a shower, go out with your friends, and play basketball or hockey. So 2-3 workouts a day. Had a good digestive system back then, too. And as we get older, what happens? I sit behind a computer. I write radio shows. I write podcasts. I answer questions. Patients call me. I answer their questions. I don't move like I used to. So make up excuses to stay in motion. Whenever I do a podcast, radio show, lecture, I'm always standing. So that's an excuse for me. Walk. Walking and swimming are the two most underrated exercises there are. So go for a walk. If you don't want to have a pet, make believe you have a pet. Every night I got to take myself out for a walk. Clean the house. Wash windows. Walk up and down the stairs. When you're on the phone, this is the easiest one of all. When you're on your cell phone, do not ever sit. I want you in motion when you're on your cell phone. Walk up and down the stairs, inside, outside, around the house. I don't care what you're doing. Go out in the garden. Get in motion when you're on the phone. Now, if you're driving, of course, don't do that. But if you're not driving, it's the best thing you can do. And it's a real simple rule. If I'm on the phone, I have to be moving. That's it. Now I've just given you an exercise program. Now, you can do more than that, too. My one patient, Yvonne, she's been coming to me for about 35 years. She's 87 years old. She drives. She has conversations like you and I. She's a very attractive woman. She's in great shape. And she always says, she goes, the reason I'm at 86 years old and running circles around the 50-year-olds is because I've been coming to see you and I've done everything you've said. And I said, well, you put it into I can tell you what to do. You've got to do it. But it's great. And she goes, I've been coming to this one gym class, workout class that she goes to. I'm the oldest one there, and I've been going there the longest amount of time. So what does that tell you? It's working. You know, she takes her supplements every day. She goes, oh, don't you ever go out of business for me. I need my supplements. She said, don't you ever retire. I said, I'm going to wait till you retire. Then I'll retire. So there's so many things we can do to keep the body in motion. The evidence, large cohort analysis published in the Lancet Medical Journal, confirmed physical activity as the leading mortality risk factor. Inactivity as the leading mortality risk factor. Wow. That means they looked at smoking, obesity, diabetes, heartburn, acid reflux, colon issues. And inactivity was the number one determiner of how quickly you're going to die. So get out there, folks. Just get moving. I don't like working out. I don't go to a gym. But I like to garden. I like to move around. I like to stand when I do my podcasts. So just keep the body in motion, and that's going to really slow down the aging process. Sleep optimization reduces mortality risk. Centers for Disease Control and Prevention. Hey, that's in Atlanta. Links short sleep duration with increased chronic disease risk. So when I talk to people about sleep, I say to them, I said, okay, why can't you sleep? I don't know. All right, let's have a conversation. Do you eat late at night? Yeah. Okay, that could be causing acid reflux or the stomach pushing against the diaphragm. When you sleep, the diaphragm needs to drop down and suck air into the lungs. The stomach's pushing up against it. We got to physically stop putting pressure on the diaphragm. So we can adjust the stomach, pull it down away from the diaphragm, but you have to stop eating late at night. I want you to not eat for 4 hours or 5 hours before you go to bed. Okay, that maybe solves the problem. Well, I'm stressed out. My mind is racing. Okay, so what's going on with the brain? Maybe you don't have enough serotonin. Maybe you don't have enough dopamine to make you feel good and give you pleasure. So then we got to look back to the gut again. Are you not digesting your food properly? You're not breaking proteins into amino acids. You not have the B vitamins to act as a cofactor to produce and make the neurotransmitters. Let's find that out. Let's get you on some supplements. I have no way of counting how many countless patients got better sleep when they started taking supplements because their body was so depleted in nutrition. So the minimum supplements I would recommend: Dr. Joe's Super Greens, Dr. Joe's Essential Source, B Complex, and vitamin D3 with K2. That's the starter kit. That means that you're poor and you can't afford anything except $5 a day. Okay, there's your starter kit. Super Greens, Essential Source, B Complex, and vitamin D. Now, if you put it on automatic reorder, you even save money. This way you never run out. So it's on the website, drjoe.com. Just put reorder, and you can cancel anytime. It's really easy to cancel. Say, cancel my order. It's done. We don't try to woo you back in. Oh, I do. No, it's very simple. It's your call. What you want to do with your life is up to you. So those are the minimum supplements I would recommend because that's going to help tremendously by giving you the cofactors to make the neurotransmitters and help the body relax. Many of you are deficient in magnesium. I take Dr. Joe's magnesium every day. I take Dr. Joe's creatine every day. Creatine helps with brain function and maintaining muscle mass. Because as I get older, as you get older, you have something called sarcopenia. We all have it. It's called sarcopenia. Muscles getting weaker as you get older. Wasting of muscles, it's called. Creatine slows that down. Creatine is stupid cheap. I even considered not even carrying it because it's so inexpensive and it's a big tub, so it's a pain in the butt. It takes up warehouse space. But I want to make sure it's available to you. I take men's hormone support because as I get older, my testosterone is dropping. Now, I can take testosterone, but then my brain says, hey, Joe, you got plenty of testosterone or estrogen or whatever hormone you're taking. You don't need to make any more. And in fact, the organs that make it, in man's case, testicles and adrenals, and women's ovaries and adrenals, they start to shrink. So what if I gave myself the raw materials to have my organs produce the testosterone naturally? Men's hormone support and women's hormone support. We have both. Omega-3 fatty acids, essential for brain function. Reduces inflammation. We started this whole talk about inflammation of the brain. Got to take omega-3s. I like algae oil. Fish oil usually has mercury in it, and it's toxic because it goes rancid. Krill oil, better choice. Algae oil, best choice. It's on the website, drjoe.com. It's the one I take every day. If I take it every day, it's on the website. It's just that simple. We have about 30 other supplements. If you have any questions about the supplements, what to take, what you think will be good, drjoe.com. Happy to answer them for you. I'm going to give you advice on taking the minimum amount of supplements. And the reason is I've learned after, 4 decades plus of doing this, is some people freak out. If I sit down with a patient and say, you need to take 11 supplements. 11 supplements, that's too much. What are you basing that on? Well, it's too much. Based on what? I've given you all the research as to why you need this. I've done the testing. That's too much. So I usually start people out with about 5 or 6 supplements. If you're okay, you're not going to lose your mind on me, I'll give you the total protocol. You have to let me know that, though. I don't know you. I don't want to freak you out. So I'd love to put together a protocol for you specifically. I can give you general, but it's best to come see me so I can actually do an actual protocol for you. That's the best protocol we can do. So sleep optimization. If you sleep dysfunction, it raises your risk of cardiovascular disease, obesity, cognitive decline. So we try to find out why you can't sleep. So there's a ton of different suggestions I can give you. Make sure the room is cool enough. 65 to 68 degrees is what's preferred. I like it a little warmer than that, about 70. So it has to be warm enough. Is it dark? Is it quiet? Maybe you need earplugs. Maybe you need a sleeping mask because you can't make the room totally dark or put up blackout curtains. Maybe you're eating too late. Maybe you got to up and pee. Men especially, if the prostate is swollen, you got to get up and pee. So if you have that, then we got to put you on a prostate protocol. Again, getting to the cause of the problem. I can give you sleeping pills, but I want to get to the cause of the problem, which is the swollen prostate, which has other ramifications. So if you're getting up more than once a night to pee, Maybe we have to look at why you're getting up so much to pee. I stopped drinking a lot around 3 o'clock in the afternoon because if I drink too much toward the end of the day, of course I get up and pee. I'm not young anymore. I got to get up and pee. So we try to get to the cause of the problem. Are you stressed out? Maybe we need some meditation. There's nerves in your body called the vagus nerves. Vagus nerves are parasympathetic nerves. That means they calm you down, they relax you. So what if I can stimulate the parasympathetic nervous system? Stimulate the part of the nervous system that makes you relax. Simple trick. Warm towel laid across your abdomen. That's going to activate the enteric nervous system, which is a parasympathetic function, and it's going to help you go to sleep. Works great for kids too. Now, don't use an electric heating pad. I don't want electricity near your body, but warm towel, put it in a microwave, wet it, put it in a microwave. Don't put it dry. It'll burn your house down. Put the warm towel over your abdomen and just lay there for a few seconds. Take some deep breaths. You can activate the vagus nerve by humming. Humming activates the vagus nerve. Faking a yawn, just faking a yawn makes you do real yawns. That can tell your body, hey, it's time to go to sleep. Neat stuff, right? And if you haven't learned how to meditate, just go online now. I mean, I studied transcendental meditation way back in the, 70s, I guess. Early 80s, yeah. And so I still use what I learned as a meditative technique. But there's many different types of techniques. I don't care what one you use. Breathing through your nose and out through your mouth will stimulate nitric oxide production, which opens up the blood supply to your brain. If you're awake, it gives you energy. If you're trying to go to sleep, it's wonderful because it gets blood flow to the brain and helps you relax. If you have heartburn or acid reflux, you're not breaking down proteins into amino acids. The amino acid tryptophan eventually becomes melatonin. I won't give you that whole story again, but that becomes melatonin in the brain and helps you sleep. So if you have heartburn, we have to fix it. We can physically pull the stomach away from the diaphragm. Increase your stomach acid. Try taking apple cider vinegar, maybe a teaspoon up to 2 tablespoons a day to increase your stomach acid. The acid breaks down proteins into amino acids, which becomes neurotransmitters, which become melatonin, which then helps you sleep. It could be something as simple as you just need 2 tablespoons of apple cider vinegar every day. So we're talking today about what you can do to extend your life. I'm almost out of time. So if you have any questions, send it to me through my website, drjoe.com. I'm happy to answer your questions for you because we all have questions. And I want to get to the cause of the problem. If you want to make an appointment, drjoe.com. Just make an appointment. Stop suffering. You can do it remotely. You can do it in person. It'll be, I feel, one of the best investments you'll ever make in your life. Every day, patients come to me and say, why haven't I done this sooner? Well, I don't know why. Now's the time. Because I promise you, no matter what condition you're going to have in the future, it's starting early on. Chronic disease is not acute disease. It's like getting hit by a car. But chronic diseases take decades to form. And the day you start treating it is the day we start reversing it and expanding life expectancy. drjoe.com. I appreciate you tuning in. I hope to hear from everybody soon. Bam. We could do part 2. I got plenty. What do you got?
Can I eat directly after working out?
Yeah, sure. Now there are some studies showing that if you fast for about an hour or 2 after working out, you do better. But if you're going to eat, don't eat sugar. Okay, that's breads, cookies, cakes, donuts, pastas. Eat something like beans, tofu, nuts. The higher protein foods are going to be a better choice. Of course, I don't recommend eating meat, but make sure you drink enough water. And if you love working out, I want you to take nitric oxide. Take nitric oxide before you work out and be amazed within a day or 2 how much better your workout is. If you're sore after you work out, take nitric oxide after you work out. Increases circulation and helps get rid of the soreness. So, what else?
What are your favorite salad toppings?
Gosh, I love a good salad. There's a place called Salata. I don't know if you've ever been. I have no connection to them whatsoever. But for $12, if you get the large salad, they'll give as much of you want. I think they have like 130 different ingredients. As much as you want of whatever you want. I get a big salad, and I actually have 2 meals out of it. So it breaks down to about $6, $7 a meal. Leave a tip, $8 a meal. So it really is one of the cheapest, healthiest meals you can get. I don't know how they stay in business, to be honest with you. I love sun-dried tomatoes. I love beets. I love shredded radishes because my grandmother used to eat radishes. It reminds me of my grandmother. But shredded carrots are great too. It depends on the salad, really. Pickles. I like dill pickles on my salad. I really enjoy that as a bite. Sprouts are wonderful on the salad. If you're going to do corn, make sure it's organic. banana peppers sometimes, small amounts. I don't like them too much. I don't like vinegar. Just thinking about it makes my mouth water. So try Salata. Go there. Just look at all the toppings they have and then write down the ones you like. So there you're going to get so many different options, and they've laid it out for you. So, what else?
What are your favorite fruits?
Favorite fruits? Gosh, I love mangoes. If I had to pick one, I'm going to guess it's either probably mangoes. Pineapple has bromelain in it. It irritates the inside of my mouth because it is an enzyme. It is breaking you down. Plums. I love plums. I just planted some plum trees. Berries. I've got two different big berry bushes in my backyard. Figs. I got fig trees. So I surround myself with the things I like, which is people and also foods. I love gardening. If I had to pick my favorite, I'd probably have to say it's a mango or cherries. Mango or cherries. Organic, of course. What else?
What would happen if I ate only fruits for 1 week?
Nothing. For 1 week, you'd be okay. If even for a lifetime, you'd probably die. Gosh, what was his name? One of my original mentors. Anyway, I started reading his research a long time ago, and he was talking about being a vegan, and so one of the things that convinced me to do that, and then he became a fruitarian. He ate nothing but fruit, and he died. Because the sugar, even though it's good, was just too much for him. And eventually had a clot in his leg. It broke off, went to his heart, and it killed him. So you can eat fruit for a whole week, but that would be probably the max I'd ever recommend it. Okay? So, what else?
What's the best type of burrito, and is guac okay?
Guac is great. Best type of burrito is something that doesn't have meat or cheese in it. It's pretty simple. So beans, guacamole, pico de gallo, salsa, onions, tomatoes, lettuce. And guac is great. It's avocados, which is wonderful. So, yeah, that would be good. If you're going to do rice, I would recommend organic California rice. Cook it, cool it, eat it the next day. Because when you do that, you absorb about 50% less carbohydrates, and you create prebiotics to feed the good bacteria. So I don't recommend eating rice fresh or any type of carbohydrate fresh. I like putting it in the refrigerator overnight. So that would be good. If you're going to do a wheat tortilla, make sure it's organic wheat. You could do. They have Ezekiel wraps as well. You could probably do that. Or gluten-free wrap, I guess, would be okay too. But just remember, the wrap, you probably don't even need it. Just make a bowl. You're better off. What else?
Are grapefruits or oranges better?
If I had to pick one, I'm going to say grapefruits. I like them both. I had one orange and a grapefruit this morning, as a matter of fact. So I do them both, but if I had to pick one, grapefruit. What else?
That is all.
Thank you, guys. You know your homework assignment, right? Follow me on social media. If you want the show notes, drjoe.com. Just ask for the show notes. And I hope to hear from you or see all of you this week. That's always my goal. Whenever I do a show or a lecture or podcast or a radio show, I want to see everybody who heard it or hear from them this week. So hopefully I'll hear